All right, we are live. Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
guys.
boys and girls, it's still March 8th. Time and time to remember the beautiful lady. Wishing every woman happy Women's Day, especially Elise Perry,
Especially Elise
the
Perry.
most beautiful woman to ever touch a cricket bat, the greatest woman to ever touch a cricket bat. Wishing you a very happy Women's Day, especially to Perry and the rest of the women of the world. And with that, let's begin today's episode as RCB end the title defense with a thrilling fight back with UP Warriors.
See, we saw multiple things today. Towards the end of the game, we saw Karan Sharma score 26 of 6 against Mitchell Stark. Then, somewhere in the middle of the game, we saw Farhan Behardian score for South Africa. Maybe towards the later half, we also saw a little bit of the Shane Warne equivalent of women's cricket, Sophie Eccleston. And that was always going to be the point of difference between both the teams. That has been the point of difference in the first game as well, the Super Over game that we saw. Um, but yeah, Sophie Eccleston to us, to RCB women, is what Sunil Narayan was to RCB men.
Mm.
I'll tell you what, brother Darshan. Next year, we're going to have retentions. And irrespective of how Sneh Rana has played or not played, it is damn near impossible to retain um, both her and Shreyanka at this point. I'm really not sure what the retention scenes are going to look like, but with a squad of 18, I don't see us having more than 4 retentions. So, yeah,
Let's get back to retentions when we close this episode.
sure.
But
This game,
let's get
where do you
into
lose it? First over, second over, where do you lose it?
so I don't know. So by the time I switched on the TV, the power play was done. I don't know about the first and second over. I
Six
missed
overs, they were at 67 for no loss, which is still controllable from that stage.
Yeah, I missed the last 8 overs of UP's batting, and pretty much after the power play, I have watched the game.
Ah, honestly, you
But
got the
let's
part of
start from the bowling. Not
yeah.
not even bowling. We won the toss. Let's talk about the toss.
Let's talk about all the tosses that we've had so far. Because I think if you remember our previous live, my statement was okay, we're in Gujarat, it's toss dependent. We've won one game already. Now, the second game, whether we win it or not, largely because it's toss dependent, I'm pretty sure we'll win a couple of tosses in Chinnaswamy and get 2 games in the belt for sure. Once we do that, winning one game somewhere else is going to be peaceful, is what I had said. We forgot to take into consideration a very, very important detail. It is the fact that we are talking about RCB.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah,
But
but
here's the bigger picture. If Rohit has won all the games losing tosses, and tomorrow he wins the toss, Smriti won the toss today and got eliminated. Chronology, chronology.
when it comes to performance, also, yeah, this is very evident at this point that Smriti chokes when it's a must-win game.
When it's a high chase, I
High chase,
get Smriti.
pressure situation, whatever it is, she
Yes.
just can't soak in all the pressure.
Yeah, that we saw that in the Super Over as well. So I think the T20 World Cup was also a prime example of this. As an ODI player, Smriti is still unparalleled, but as a T20 player, her big hitting is not exactly where it's supposed to be. I'd say her play style is very Devdutt Padikkal that way.
Yeah, pretty exposed.
Exposed, yeah. We anyways wanted to cut first. Yes, that's the statement that's always thrown around. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think two knocks could have completely changed the dimension of this chase. And both those knocks were at strike rates of under 120. We're looking at Ragbi Bisht and Kanika Ahuja. While Kanika Ahuja was in a way doing the right thing by trying to rotate strike and give it to Richa, finishing 9 runs of 11 balls or so is not exactly the right way to go about it. But
Yeah, let's talk about a point from Georgia Wareham here.
right,
She has very good hitting abilities. She's
yes,
a proven hitter. She comes in at 7. When you
exactly.
have someone like Ragvi Bish coming in at 4, you can easily push Georgia Wareham ahead in the place of Ragvi Bish. I don't know why this hasn't been the thought process in the team or the management,
I agree.
but it's
So I
clearly
think
how many
this
chances give for a 20-year-old. Yeah, we know
yeah,
like she's young. It's not fair from us to blame Ragvi Best here. Uh,
correct.
because we can't expect something big chasing 225 in a must-win situation for the qualification. So instead, they could have chosen Georgia Wareham and in place of Ragvi here.
If not for at least number five. If
Yeah,
you want someone to build a partnership, sure, let Rugby Bush rotate strike and do that. Okay, I have no issues. But the problem is you're chasing 226 and you cannot finish with a strike rate of 110 in a 220 plus run chase. You have to go harder. And I'm sorry to say that the boundaries that Rugby Bush got were only of top edges. She's trying to play inside out. She's trying to clear the boundary, and it's landing right outside the inner circle. There is no power behind those shots unless she's hitting between that arc from mid wicket to square leg, which is automatically inaccessible to her because they put two fielders over there, and it's a longer boundary to the right hander. And it's a statement that I've made since game one. Unless Raghi Bish fixes that issue of having only one single hitting arc, it is impossible to make further strides in cricket and go to the next level.
she's very young, so I'm hoping she will develop wide range of shots. But when RCB can stick with Ragvi Bish, we saw what Sabineni Meghana did today. They could have
Exactly.
done this after a few games in place of Ragvi. And dropping your first choice opener, Danny Viat, can't
It
do
was a
this.
it was a brave call, and it worked for them in
It
this
worked.
game. Okay, 20 something of 9 balls is huge in the
Yeah.
context of the game. You have made sure that we get off to a flyer start. We ended 70 of the power play. We lost 2 wickets, but we ended 70 of the power play, which puts us in a spot that is comparatively still better than what UP Warriors could have been, even though they were for no loss. Um, there are multiple ways we could have handled this in terms of fixing the batting, but once again, it is a season that is ridden with injuries. We do not have our regular players, and honestly, we played well with the squad that we have.
Yeah. The first two games were very good example of optimum utilization of the resources we had. Very good
Yeah.
wins. We expected one out of the two games from the Baroda leg. We got two in two. Then hoping at least one win at Chinnaswamy would have sorted a lot of things for the table right now.
Yeah.
But considering the injuries and everything, this is still a very good season for RCB considering the fight backs they have done, having a 200 run
All
chase.
those games have been this close. I think aside from the Delhi game,
Those
everything has been this close.
those two games in Chinnaswamy, first two games, it's
Yeah.
completely upon Smriti. Uh, poor, extremely poor captaincy has costed us
True.
4 points over there.
True. I mean, you look at today as well, right? The right-handers hitting to the shorter boundary are facing off spinners in the power play, which to me made no sense. You're bowling Charlie Dean in the sixth over instead of Georgia Wareham, who can spin the ball away from the right-hander. And the top three batters of the UP Warriors batting lineup are all right-handers, and you can completely exploit the fact that they have a longer boundary that they can play around with. So it made no sense to me that they were bowling the spinner in the same direction that the shorter boundary is. I think
Hmm.
that is what was the difference of 10 runs, 20 runs, whatever it is.
Yeah. Also, what happened to Georgia Wareham? She was bowling the peak Shane Warne. Like
Look, in all
suddenly,
honesty, she bowled well today as well. Look, 42 runs, but she got two crucial wickets
picked up
in the
wickets.
process. Going at an economy of 10 on this flat track on a 200 plus scoring pitch is not a problem at all. But she got the wickets to show for it. And I still think Georgia Warren has been our best bowler of the season, barring that first game. That is pretty much it. Aside from that, Wareham has been top notch.
Yeah. But it was Elise Perry who was the most economical bowler for RCB yet again,
Again.
mm, making sure we chase 225 instead of 240, courtesy Perry.
Yeah, look, I'm going to sound like all the Australian fans after the semi-finals, but um, no Molyneux, no Divine, no Shriyanka, no Asha. Kate Cross doesn't matter. I couldn't give two shits about that. And Perry, on the other hand, was in no form whatsoever in terms of bowling because of her hip injury. But she slowly gained her rhythm back across those last three games that we've seen. And finally, today she bowls 4 overs and she's shown us what she could have done in the first couple of games at the Chinnaswamy if she was fit to bowl.
They should have stopped playing this tournament when the match went to a super over against UP Warriors.
I agree because you have 18 runs to defend at the last over, which is more than enough, and you decide to bowl Renuka, who is least known for her death bowling abilities. You could have bowled any of the spinners, and Chinnaswamy is still a little difficult when it comes to spin bowling, and they could have pulled something of a heist with anyone other than Renuka.
Yeah, I still have the same question. Why was Kanika Ahuja stopped bowling apart from the first two games?
Exactly. So Kanika Ahuja's utilization has been very similar to what we saw of Shahbaz Ahmed in 2023, if I'm not wrong, because after everything he did for RCB in 2022, they pushed him lower and lower down the order and gave him no batting. And the only time Shahbaz Ahmed got to bat was when there was a top order collapse. So you're putting extra pressure on a younger player. Bowling, on the other hand, you'd barely give him 1 over in the game. And if there is if there is a right hand in Kanika's case, if there's a right-handed batting, she would never get any of the overs, and most batters these days are right-handed. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's difficult to deal with.
T20 is a format where the entry point of a batter matters more than the position the batter actually bats in.
I agree, and that example was shown with Finel Henry today.
Yeah, if you look at the very first game, why was Kanika successful? Let's keep aside the sloppy fielding from Gujarat, but the entry point was so perfect for her. The platform was set right after Perry's departure, and Richa was starting to take off. It was perfect entry point. But in
Yeah,
today's game, again, like they pushed her a bit too early. Yeah, the entry points of a few batters were not right this season.
yeah. And given that she is the only other left-hander in the batting lineup, we have to utilize her much better than we are right now, especially given that in this game there was a shorter boundary involved. So Kanika's utilization could have helped us score that 10 runs extra somewhere in between with Richa rotating strike and Kanika scoring to the short boundary. Even though Richa accessed the offside brilliantly today, that was a mad knock, mad respect.
Yeah,
Props to both.
Richa's batting was absolute cinema today. Yeah.
But yeah, do we take a look at all the previous games that have happened? Or is there anything left to discuss from today's game? Because today's game was depressing.
Yeah, good that a season is over before one game. We are not having the calculator for the final game, which is good sign.
True. Good signs, good signs.
We are well out of the tournament.
I think another factor that is not exactly involved with any of the games is that at the Chinnaswamy, this is something that was being discussed in today's game as well. The car that is placed in the stadium right at the edge of the boundary, in today's case, the car was placed in a spot that is least accessed by the batters, according to what the commentators were saying. There's a lesser likelihood of sixes going in that direction. But if you look at Chinnaswamy's case, right, the car was placed in almost the exact same place, except they had a grill in front of it to protect it from Perry, which is absolutely insane because we saw what Perry did last year to the car. Then they rolled the windows down in the remaining games to make sure nothing happened to the windows. This time they put a whole as a grill in front of it. It is so bad
It
that
would be
Perry.
such a very good marketing strategy if they keep cars in the areas where the batters can actually hit a six.
Exactly. Long gone would be the perfect spot to do it.
Anywhere. But yeah, the more the ball hits the car, it's more than the damage doing to the reputation of the brand. They'll be getting more attention to selling those cars.
Exactly, bro. Like you lose a window, big deal, right? You need to pay like what, some 5K, 6K, get the window repaired. But that's going to give you like lakhs and lakhs in terms of your advertisement. So that is something that they can really invest on in the future.
Yeah. They can take a few things from how Elon Musk launched the Tesla Cybertruck by breaking a window on purpose.
Yeah. So Bobs in the comments says, give us a preview about tomorrow's match.
What is tomorrow's match?
We had made a very important statement at the start of this tournament. Champions Trophy to us is an irrelevant tournament,
Yeah.
and there will be no 1,000 word essay published after tomorrow's game because we could give zero shits about the game. If we
And I'm
win it,
not watching the game importantly tomorrow, so
if we win it, great. If we lose, recalibrate.
that's all. Also, the last time we lost an ICC tournament in final and or final or rather knockouts, whenever we have lost a knockout game, Kohli has had a brilliant IPL season.
Yeah.
So
2023 lost to Australia. Moving next
banger IPL season.
banger IPL.
2016 lost to West
2016
Indies,
lost to West
banger
Indies
IPL season.
IPL. So
2015 lost in Australia, banger IPL season.
आप chronology समझिए.
Yeah.
In
So
fact,
what do you want?
no,
ICC
you
championship?
also 2022 lost to England in the semi. Banker IPL in 2023, the next season of the IPL
Comeback
as well.
season.
600 runs along with Faf. So all his good seasons have come after we fucked up our
Yeah.
international knockouts.
So now I present to you with the red pill and the blue pill option. Do
We
you
already
want the
have
Champions Trophy?
all the ICC trophies. It doesn't matter if we won it in 2013 or if we're winning it
Yeah,
now.
he's won it.
There are zero IPL trophies.
Any day I will pick the banger IPL season over this Champions Trophy.
Anyway, Mumbai Indians, the news is that Bumrah is not going to be playing for the first 2 weeks. Let's eliminate them there itself so that we don't have to deal with one issue because we don't want to deal with Emma in the knockouts.
Yeah.
I like how we're just all over the place today. We don't know what the fuck to talk about.
Impromptu live session. We will be going all around the world today.
Yes.
IPL's
So
RCB over ODI
now
Cricket
that we
World.
have discussed all the Satya games, let us take a look at India Masters game where Saurabh Tiwari has scored 60 of 37,
Wait,
Ambati
let me
Rayudu
look at
has
the
scored
scorecard.
63 of 45, Gurkirat Singh Mann has scored 46 of 21, and
Oh,
Yuvraj Singh has finished not out with 49 of 20 balls. And a
what's
very,
the name
very,
of this tournament?
it is vibes. That is
No,
all.
what's the name of the tournament? I want to pull the scorecard.
Yeah, oh, International Masters League. Now, if we move to the second innings, West Indies need 51 of 21 balls, and it is actually a pretty close game. It's just that they've lost 5 wickets already, and they have Ashley Nurse batting with, wait for it, Nursing Dionarain. Names that we've not heard in ages.
Damn.
So you have nurse on one side and nursing on the other side.
Hmm. Now that we have come to the Legends League, let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about how
Shane
Shane
Watson. Yeah.
Watson,
Come. Let's talk about Shane Watson. Three
man,
centuries, all of 60-yard balls. Um, in
brother, what happened to you in 2016?
No, something wakes up in him when he wears a yellow jersey. I'm not even kidding. So
Yeah,
when he wears jerseys that belongs to cheaters or like banned teams, no, he just something ignites inside him. You look at the Rajasthan Royals jersey, you look at the CSK jersey, look at the Australian jersey. He's peaked in these jerseys. It's all the cheaters and banned teams and all things of that
yeah.
sort, right?
Okay, if PBK wins IPL trophy before RCB, I'll unsubscribe this channel. Sure,
Done, bro. Done.
done.
We are willing to lose one subscriber. For for the greater good. I will make a fake account and I will resubscribe to compensate for your loss.
Watson for CSK, Watson in 2016. Yeah,
In all honesty, Watson for RCB was also insanely good. He only fucked the finals.
yeah,
And he will be remembered for fucking the finals, nothing else.
yeah.
You look at Surya Kumar Yadav as well, right? He will only be remembered for that catch. He will not be
That
remembered
catch,
for
yeah.
he fucked every knockout before that in every tournament that he has played.
I think Surya Kumar Yadav had a major redemption with that catch for whatever blunder he did with the 2023 World Cup.
I
It's a
agree.
very good
2023 World
redemption.
Cup and the 2024 T20 World Cup as well, because at the end of the day, he still choked the final.
Yeah.
For that matter, he even choked 2022 T20 World Cup. He played against South Africa in the game that we lost, and he played against Netherlands in a game that was irrelevant. So, not
I
Netherlands, sorry, Hong Kong. Was it Netherlands or Hong Kong?
oh yeah, long off. Yeah, long off.
Giddy hat trick. Hey, what are we dreaming about? What is
NKD
going on with her? You
where
know what?
what
No, she's predicting the future.
future hat
Future.
trick.
Like, oh. I mean, as long as Leander isn't the one saying this, Jacob Bell is fit for
Yeah,
RCB, Josh
major
Hazelwood
major
is
missing.
also
Leander is
considered
missing from
for
this live
RCB.
stream. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All we need
Jacob Bretton is fit for
is
RCB. Yeah,
break Lungin Gidi's legs. That is all.
yeah. I have a very interesting question for you.
Ask away.
So, if you look at all the captains this season for IPL, it has to
Mhm.
be the most aura-less captains for most
I
of the team.
agree, brother.
Okay.
2016 was the best captaincy season ever.
Okay. So this brings us to the point: how relevant is captaincy in modern day T20 or a league match? And in a day where most of the planning and execution is done by data analysts and everything before the match, you have set of rules. This bowler bowls to right hander, offside. Everything is pre-planned. How relevant is a captain in today's world?
I think you look at instinct based captaincy as well, right? As much as machines can take over in terms of setting your plans in place, there is no guarantee that those plans are going to work. You have a set plan. Okay, Rashid Khan is bowling. He bowls. Okay, he's going to bowl a certain length more often than not. I'm going to look to sweep him like this. Let's say you've suddenly lost three in the power play and you've come in. You cannot go ahead and play the same kind of shots, right? The captain, on the other hand, is now going to change up those plans to work with Rashid Khan to get more wickets. So, like, it's not going to be bowl in the same line and length to make him sweep. Your set plans are never going to have the same level of relevance because the game scenario has so many different permutations and combinations. And that is where an instinctive captain comes in. And I think the best example for that has actually been, as much as I hate to say it, Tala in those early years where he used Joginder Sharma in the semis. I know as much as it was a fuck up by Misbah ul Haq, there was a certain instinct that was employed. You look at 2013 in the Champions Trophy as well. The usage of Ishant Sharma in those penultimate overs was also a pretty decent move in terms of how he'd set the
Bro,
field.
2016, that Bangladesh game, who would have
Exactly.
had the balls to bowl Hardik Pandya in the final over when the game was almost gone? That's proper
When
instinctive
look,
captaincy.
when you have even in 2007, right, when we were talking about Joginder Sharma, we always forget that Harbhajan Singh had an extra over left at that.
Yeah.
He could have put him, he could have bowled his best bowler, but he went with instinct. So I know we're talking about quite almost a couple of decades back, but even to this day, machines can never take over the game completely. And instinctive captaincy does have a
We
very
saw
large
this in 2023 IPL season as well. I
right.
think this was qualifier one against Gujarat Titans. Hardik Pandya was on strike. There was some spinner bowling. So since Hardik was hitting everything on the leg side to get those singles and doubles,
Yeah,
Tala made a quick change
right.
from the square region of the 30-yard circle.
He moved one fielder and Hardik hit it straight to that. I remember this.
Slightly
Yeah.
finer towards the short third man region, and the very next ball, Hardik sees the change, chops one straight to the fielder.
Straight to that fielder, exactly. Like you watch it happen in front of you, and there is still nothing you can do about it because of your bowler maintaining a certain line and length. So if your bowler is unable to maintain that line and length, as we saw today with Renuka, that is where your so-called plan-based captaincy, your so-called machines and AI tools are not going to come into the picture. That is where you have to put your fielders in spots based on instinct. Okay, these guys are targeting Renuka towards mid-wicket. Do I put a mid-wicket fielder there, or do I move that fielder to long on, hoping for that batsman to mistime it to long on instead? So these are very instinctive calls, and I think that was very similar to what Smriti was trying to do today, right? Try to make the batters hit to the shorter boundary, hoping that they give you a catch over there, which didn't end up happening. If it was a Sophie Molyneux taking the ball away from them, maybe that could have been this time. But if it was an off spinner and she tempted the batter took it for six. Yeah.
Okay, so you make a point here saying instinctive captaincy would make a change.
Yes.
So nowadays we have
You're
seen
going to bring in the perspective of the brand image, right?
no, not the brand image. Let's keep everything aside.
Cool.
So nowadays we have seen teams how they mention about the leadership groups rather than the captain. You have
Yes.
three, four very good leaders or ex-captains who have captained in various parts of the career. You
Correct.
identify them as great leaders. You have the leadership group. So
I
then
think
again comes the question: why do you want a captain?
right. Okay. So a leadership group is people who can give you advice when the captain is running out of ideas. And I think we saw that with Perry today, right? Perry was the one taking charge of the timeout. Smriti wasn't saying a word. Perry was delivering a very motivational pep talk. Very similar to what we've seen in Test cricket when Rohit is starting to look clueless. There are certain tweaks that Virat himself makes to the field based on instinct. And yes, from a certain perspective, it helps. It helps to have other people around you who can give you their inputs. But there is also the perspective of too many chefs spoil the broth. And we saw that last year with MI. You had Rohit, you had Sky, you had Hardik, you had Bumrah, you had Tilak, who's an upcoming captain. Everybody is a captain in their own right. And for some reason, nothing worked out because of everybody's opinions clashing with each other. So you need to build an insanely good team environment, which is very difficult to do in the modern era. It was see, technically speaking, it was there was a lot more politics involved back in the day in the couple day, whereas the Sunil Gavaskar scenes, we know what went down there between the two of them in terms of captaincy. But you are in the modern era where money is a big deal in
Yeah, like
cricket.
leading a national side is very different from leading a franchisee.
Right. Yeah. So there are multiple ways you can go with this, and there is still a certain level of sense maintained when it comes to brand image, but I think they've teams have started to realize that like in case of Rohit Sharma handing it over to Hardik, in the case of Ruturaj Gaikwad being given captaincy from Tala, Patidar taking over from this one, Kohli. It is all a matter of investing for the future. You need to create that brand image instead of relying on a pre-existing brand image now.
It also has been reciprocated well from the sponsors or the media end. If you
And the
take up
fans.
any IPL game, let's
Hmm.
say even Tala is not a captain, Rohit is not a captain, Virat is not a captain.
Wait, hold on. There is something very important. Leander, don't say a fucking word. Please do not respond to that message that Bopana has sent. Let's you talk about
Anyways, I wasn't reading the chat anyways.
yeah, I saw Leander prediction and my balls started quaking inside. That's why.
Yeah, where was I? So speaking about brands, so you have Virat, Rohit, Dhoni, who are not captains, but
Correct.
despite not being the captains, they are the
Yes, to the
center of
brand.
attention of
Yes.
every brand for every game. I think
Correct.
that sort of marketing kind of gave the confidence for teams to go with players who can be a potential future candidate for the captaincy,
Correct.
and that's what has made this look like the most auraless captains.
Correct. I think the only one who will be walking around that whole group of captains carrying the slightest bit of aura is probably Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, he has six IPL trophies.
Exactly. Uh, but yeah, that's all we can do in terms of captaincy. There's nothing else we can do.
That's
Oh
all. You
Lord,
have
yeah.
Hardik, you have Shreyas here. That's all. Yeah.
Hmm. No, look, I would like to paint a picture now that Leander has started talking. I would
Yeah,
also like to
everyone's
paint a
talking
picture
about
for what
the
happened.
irrelevant tournament. Let's talk about the
New
irrelevant
Zealand,
tournament. Yeah.
New Zealand finishes the Champions Trophy with a win. Rachin Ravindra puts on a white blazer, dances Gangnam Style, and does push-ups in front of the champion. This one celebration.
Hmm.
We will be there no matter what.
But yeah,
We're
simple.
trying to
Two
change
simple
up.
questions. Does the toss matter, or do we have another rigged pitch tomorrow?
So I actually took a look at the pitch. There was a pretty decent image of the pitch that had come out.
Hmm.
It is the same pitch that was used for the India versus Pakistan game.
Okay.
But the only thing is, it looks way flatter than it did on that day. It looks shiny for some reason. So I'm going to say that it is going to be a 280, 290 track tomorrow. And I'd
Don't know this.
say
India versus Pakistan pitch.
that's
I
crazy.
think it happened over 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It happened on 23rd, right? So yeah,
23rd. Okay, yeah.
it's almost
Good
been
amount.
2 weeks.
Two weeks ago. So it also depends on how well the pitch is watered. If
Correct.
it is not
Moisture
watered
matters.
and rolled, just rolled, it's
Hmm.
the 2023 all over again.
Goodie.
Yeah. We also saw a video come out of ICC's page on how Kohli was practicing this tournament.
Yeah.
So he's not aiming to hit any boundaries. Whatever he gets those boundaries is just a
Something
bonus
with
in the
singles
game.
and the singles.
But his
Yeah.
main go-to template or his idea for this tournament is get those singles and doubles. As simple as that. That's what this format of the game
When you're
demands.
playing in Dubai, there is a template that you guys that every team needs to follow. It is something that Pakistan tried but screwed up. It is something that Bangladesh was incapable of doing. It is something that Australia almost pulled off. But when you're playing in Dubai, you start off with a decent power play of around 60. It's fine to lose around 1 wicket. I know I'm going to start sounding like P Dog when I'm saying all of this, but 60 in the power play for the loss of one.
Mm.
Next 20 overs, just rotate strike. Try to finish at the end of 30 overs. Your goal is to be 200 for three. And from the 30th over is where you need to start taking charge of the game. So by the end of the 36th, no, yeah, by the end of the 38th over, you're looking at 260. And yeah, take it further from there, see where it goes. Because this is where you start losing a lot of wickets, but you're going to try to compile as many runs as possible. Because the surface will slow down.
I feel like even 240 is a very good winning score here.
240 is a winning score, yeah.
Two forty is easily average. Average score is 240. 260, it's a winning score. If it's a good water,
That's me.
bless you, bless RCB. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything about 260 on a good batting surface is a good winning score here.
Yeah. Look, if it was the same track that was there for the India New Zealand game, which was slightly flatter, then we could have jumped to conclusions about a 300 plus score. But
No, I
aside
don't
from
think Indian New Zealand game was flatter. What we scored 244 something?
it felt like a good batting surface in all honesty. It's just that we screwed up and they screwed up harder.
Yeah.
Like the bounce felt much better than it did throughout the other games.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, now that we're looking at specifically the track that was used for India Pakistan, 260 would be your ideal par score.
So win the toss and
I'm gonna say chase, brother. I, I
chase.
I know that a lot of teams want to bat, but the way we've been chasing throughout the tournament, chase is the way to go. With our batting depth, it's the better option.
Yeah. But I don't think toss will play a key role here.
No,
Batting
it's
first
it's
or
not
batting
it's not
second is
October
irrelevant.
Dubai luckily.
Yeah. It all depends on how defensive your bowling is and how much your bowling can save those runs, singles and doubles.
Yeah. And overall, we're a good fielding side as well. Bob
Yeah.
says bat first, I say field first. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's going
Even
to
I'm
make
with
this
field first.
difference. Yeah, for me, it's field first. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because we're going to see our batter play the most beautiful cover drive, and Glenn Phillips is going to fly from point to extra cover and catch that. Speaking of which, there was actually a clip from the Masters League of Jonty Rhodes pulling an insane dive at long off to Shane Watson's batting. The man is 54 and he's still flying around at this age. In all honesty, um, yeah, I mean, good task to lose. We wanted to bat first anyway.
Yeah.
Classics. Yeah, this has been a very yeah, we don't know what to talk about live session, but we had to have a live session anyway session.
Yeah. Just to keep the algorithm alive and show our faces to you that we are
Yeah.
alive.
See, when RCB had hopes of qualifying, we came, we're like, wow. When RCB had
Amazing.
knocked out, we came, we're like, wow. So there is a common point between both these things. Whenever Richa goes performs, we are like,
So just pray that Richa performs and we'll be live for the next game as well.
Ashte, simple.
Hessen's investment on Jamieson. Let's also talk about how Jamieson has changed his
Changes
bowling game.
action. Front on,
Yeah.
more chest, more boobies.
Yeah. I think even his arm rotation of arm has also changed.
Yeah. And the amount his knee used to bend is it's also succumbed to a slight technical change. I think it's
And
all
he has
about how
gotten
he
finally developed a good slower one.
through. Where was
Bowling,
Alex? Where was batting against him?
I think we are always ahead of time. We made the investment thinking he'll bowl a slower one, but he was so late to realize that he's realizing everything after 4 or 5 years to bowl a slower one.
Look, that has always been an issue with the IPL. Right? You invest on a player that you see potential in, but it's never possible to hold on to that player because you always have other retentions to make. Like throughout our 2015, 16, 17, all the way until 21, two retentions were already Kohli and AB. So
Yeah.
with that happening, you can't invest in a talent like Travis Head. Okay, so you can't sit and complain about players that have left RCB who've become better players because the potential was identified early, but the auction dynamic doesn't let us keep them at any stage. The only person that we could have kept, irrespective of what would have happened, was KL Rahul at a certain stage. And in my opinion, letting go of Yuzi Chahal in 2022 was still all right because Hasaranga performed for us in 2022. It's just that he got whacked left and right in 2023 in a year when everyone got whacked overall. Bowling in Chinnaswamy is not easy for sure.
Yeah.
And people forget that one of the players who got whacked around Chinnaswamy that year was Josh Hazelwood.
Hmm. The
Welcome back.
only bad retention decision was letting go of Chahal. No, I don't think so. I think letting go of Chahal was a very good decision and smart decision.
Because it was right after he married Tanushree.
Yeah. Once the rule of impact player started, I don't think there has been much value for leggies. They are picking wickets, but they
Yes.
have been much more expensive. In the first case itself, UZ was very expensive in Bangalore, but he used to pick those wickets. But
Wickets,
after the
exactly.
introduction of this rule, he has been much more expensive, which is I don't see a point using a leggy when you can have
Yeah.
someone like Livingston in your team who can pick those wickets if he can, or
It's
some medium
become
can also
a
pick those
batting heavy
wickets.
game now. IPL has become a batting heavy game. And the fact that Harsha Bhogle is out there on quick buzz, claiming that we will see a 300 plus score this year, is testament to it. They have focused on high scoring games, which we've seen enough last year. The highest total record was beaten like thrice last year, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, that's just how it is.
There's also the point of the boundary rows being slightly pushed in to get these kind of high scores.
To put
While
more softer LEDs around the fence.
yeah, so
It's marketing, right? At the end of the day.
it's basically for viewership, broadcasting. Broadcasters have paid such huge amount of money for the tournament for 5 long years, and
Yeah.
of course they can demand certain things, and this is how BCCI is making the changes to accommodate both the teams, players, and the broadcasters to make everyone happy. We know we are not happy with the impact player rule, but this rule will continue to stay in place as long as there is
Tala,
viewership for this. Yeah,
as long as
not
Tala
just
plays.
there is viewership for this rule. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're getting extra batting, so yeah.
Yeah,
But
honestly.
with the kind of batting lineup SRH has, I think they are the only team potential candidates for the 300 plus scores.
True. And the fact that Nitish Kumar Reddy is going to join in on that act this year makes it even better. Now it all comes down to how they utilize Ishan Kishan at number three. Because by doing so, a Klassen that played at number five last year is sorry, at number four last year is now going to be pushed to number five. I know Klassen was shuffled around a little bit, but he was pushed up to number four whenever there was a good partnership at the top. So in a scenario like that, are you willing to bet your money on Ishan Kishan giving you the same strike rate that Klassen does? Call that SRH has to take.
You got a good point about Klassen being pushed to number four. AB de Villiers wrote a huge essay during the SA-20
Yes,
tournament
correct.
when Klassen was playing for Durban, right? Was
Durban.
playing for Durban. So he was being pushed down and down until the
Yes.
point the team was on the verge of elimination.
Yes.
Klassen is that kind of batter. Like you have an entry point between 8 to 12 over mark. You give him some amount of time, just one 1 hour of time, and
Yeah.
he's set for a
He
big
said.
score.
Yeah. Unless it is a semi-final or a final, you can always bank on Klassen to deliver.
Yeah, so you can't expect someone like Klassen to come in at 16 or 18th over mark and go bonkers for your
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Because Klassen does have the ability to actually put together a long innings of 60, 70, 80, and he does that with a strike rate of almost 200 sometimes. more than 200 every now and then, honestly.
Yeah. The reason behind the such long essay written by AB was he
Because
was
the same
treated
thing happened to him.
similarly with RCB.
And that was, look, that was the move that worked because it was to accommodate Maxwell at 4.
No,
And it
like I'm
worked.
not speaking about towards the end, like post 2017-18, I think they learned the lesson.
Yeah.
But earlier in AB's career, he used to come so down the order. We have
Fair.
seen him pull off games with Mitchell Stark, Harshal
Yeah.
Patel, and all.
Yes. That was the case in 2013 and 14, if
Yeah,
I'm not wrong. So that was when they had Dilshan and Gale opening, and then Kohli at 3. Sometimes it used to be De
no, you
Villiers at 4.
even had
Sometimes it was Saurabh Tiwari at 4.
Mandeep Singh and
Deep Singh and
some
Saurabh Tiwari.
Saurabh Tiwari. You had some Akash Deep Singh Nath or something like that dude. I remember that.
Akshdeep Nath in
Yeah, I remember
2017.
that game when he denied 2 runs for AB versus
Yeah,
Mumbai in Wankhede when AB was whacking Malinga all over the place. I
correct.
still remember that dude.
Yeah. Was that the 41 of something not that AB played?
Something, yeah, he was on blistering knock, and this dude comes like he's asked AB to stay at the non-strikers end. Like, bro,
It's
what are
crazy.
you?
Akshdeep Nath, who is irrelevant in the game right now, who has disappeared, he's gone underground, tried to deny a single to AB de Villiers.
That's something he can put on his CV, which will never get accepted anywhere.
There's the discussion happening about Tilakaratne Dilshan in the comments. We will forever raise our fingers against Dilshan because of the knock that he played that could have taken us to 300 on that day, the way Gale was playing.
300 and potentially Gale to a 200. He
Yeah,
has
Gale would have
spoken
gotten
in
the
many
message.
of his interviews that Gale was set for a 200 that day,
Yeah.
if not for the tuk knock from Dilshan.
35 at a runner ball when Gale is batting like that. Look, I know, I understand that you're trying to give him strike because of the way he's batting, but
Brother, how bad is your luck that when Gale is going at 300 strike rate, you can't even edge one to top edge one to a four or something. Can't even edge. How bad is your luck?
look, see, at the end of the day, the fact that he played runner ball let Gale get to 175 because he got more strike. But what took Gale's 200 away was the fact that AB came in and scored 33 of 8 balls. Those 8 balls that Gale had scored again towards the end, the 20th over of that game was actually a banger over. They really didn't score too many runs of the 20th over in that game. I think there was one boundary and that was it.
And also, we have seen comments of saying how Bhuvneshwar Kumar was the most economical bowler with around 6 to 8 economy in
Yeah,
that game. The
yeah.
fact is, Bhuvneshwar Kumar versus Chris Gale in that game had
Never happened.
insane strike rate. Gale had insane strike rate against Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but all the time it was
It was
Tilakaratne
Little
Dilshan,
Dilshan facing the dots.
and that's what makes Bhuvneshwar Kumar a legendary bowler with context to the scorecard of that game.
Yeah, true. It's never about the whole story is never shown in the statistics. In all honesty,
I don't think there was enough data, Twitter pulling of ball to ball data comparison and analysis back in the day, but Dilshan would have been dragged to streets if that would have happened in today's world.
true, true. Fetus Booby, I would say 2016 to 2018 Booby, no 2015 to 18 Booby was prime, and even now that Booby could come back and have the best T20 peak ever. But it's just that he's been selected to the wrong team. God only knows what he'll do for RCB, man. We need bowlers who can bowl Yorkers, not slower ones are irrelevant in Chinnaswamy now for some reason. Like even
We
slower
have
ones,
Yash Dayal for slower ones.
yeah. We just ended up buying like three power play bowlers and like nobody for the death.
But have you been watching the DY Patil tournament?
I did. I saw that Krunal Pandya, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and Jitesh Sharma were teamed up in one illegal-looking team where somebody else was captain. A completely different person was captain, and they played against Captain Anuj Rawat in the finals. And luckily, there was a win.
So far, what I could analyze from DY Patil tournament was Bhuvneshwar is looking good. He's nailing those Yorkers. He's not getting wickets, which is fine. It is DY Patil tournament.
If you're giving me economy rates, I am happy with Bhuvneshwar Kumar
Yeah, any day
because
like that.
at all costs, Bhuvi is more likely to get a wicket in the power play for sure. At the death, can you nail 4 out of 6 Yorkers for me with his own?
WTF is DY Patil tournament. It's a domestic tournament, Mumbai-based league, where most of your IPL domestic players go and play that league just before the start of IPL. It was started by
And to
Company
give you
Group or
guys
something.
context about that tournament, it was a tournament that Dinesh Karthik himself played at the start of the before the start of the IPL last year. He
Yeah,
got a couple of decent knocks in, after which he went back to doing commentary somewhere else. What series happened?
India England.
England, right? Yeah. So England's tour of India. While that series was going on, there was a break in between where he went, played a game in DY Patil, came back to commentary, and just got his muscle memory in the tournament. And then we
That
saw what
tournament gives a good head start for all the domestic players.
yeah.
I just want to give Tala a fair
Travel already.
it's us, everyone. Yeah, my
Yeah.
agenda any day, agenda
This,
over
this year, that is not our job. This year, that job belongs to whoever plays them in the end. I think it's Gujarat Titans playing them on May 18th, right?
May 18th. Yeah, it, the tournament may not necessarily go until May 18th. We can end their tournament on May 3rd if they play so bad. Yeah, but yeah, I also saw Krunal Pandya's bowling. He picked up a few wickets. I saw him getting a 50. That 50 looked
Krunal
very
Pandya is
unsatisfying.
actually playing well.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, okay, big question. Where would you bat Krunal Pandya?
7, 8, 8.
Perfect. Solid.
Nothing on top of that. Yeah.
None of that push him to 3, push him to 4, Washington Sundar PS. Thank you, God.
There's also the talks of Ars Maran being brought into the team.
That will be insane. If
If that
Smaran Ravichandran
happens,
is brought into the team, kick Devdutt Padikkal out and slot him in directly at number 3.
our team looks entirely different once Maran is plotted at number 3.
Yeah.
You have
And
Kohli, Salt, Maran, Patidar, Livingston, Jitesh,
Hitesh,
Krunal,
Krunal.
then play whoever.
David, I don't know, man. You have Tim David
I
also
don't care.
somewhere in
That's
there.
sorted.
Some 3 bowlers and Suyash Sharma as impact player, something
As
will do
long
to
as
that.
Bhuvneshwar is nailing those Yorkers, like 2 overs, 12, 14 runs, I'm happy as long as even if he doesn't pick wickets. Bethel, no, Bethel is a project
Future prospect,
project
project.
RCB. He won't. I don't think he will be playing. He will be
Yeah.
starting the RCB side.
Yeah. Because again, if you play Bethel, you have to play him in the top 4, and we are not in a position to accommodate him in the top 4 right now.
Yeah.
Quick question: did Smaran play at number 3 or at number 4 for Karnataka?
As far as I remember, it was number 3.
Okay, then it's fine. We play that
I think
empty at
number
number.
4 we had Manish Pandya or someone come in. Not for the T20 side.
Not the T20 side. No, yeah, no, because all I remember of Smaran is the
You had
200.
Mayank and DDP opening Smaran.
Yeah,
Then you had, yeah, it was Smaran.
it was Smaran, right? And then you had Srijit come in later
Yeah.
at some point. Yeah, as wicketkeeper. Okay, cool. Does Smaran bowl by any chance?
No, not required.
Expect too much of him, no? Bada bada pa.
He's coming in as a replacement. You want him to bat, bowl, field, grab ball.
Because he's coming in as a replacement for Manoj Bandage, I was just curious. Because Manoj Bandage gives you 2 overs with the ball, even though he goes at an economy of 15.
But Smaran can make up for the content loss that Manoj Bandage won't be able to fulfill the content team.
True.
Just
ಉಗಾದಿ
to
ಹಬ್ಬದ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. ಸಂಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಹಬ್ಬದ Hardika Shubhashyagudu.
Yeah,
Okay. I think we've yapped enough about the randomest things. We're not here to talk about RCB women, guys. That season is done. I
yeah.
think whatever we spoke was pretty much the end of it. We're not going to sit and discuss all the Chinnaswamy games. We lost the toss, we lost the match. That's pretty much it. That's how all the games went. Um, yeah. Welcome to Lucknow. I mean, we're done. We're done with
Goodbye
Lucknow.
to Lucknow. Welcome to
Goodbye to
Mumbai.
Lucknow. Welcome to Mumbai, and
Then welcome to
congratulations to
Bangalore. We shall see you
Mumbai
in
Indians on another
RCB
title
and
win.
Hawks. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to Mumbai Indians on another title win. Harmanpreet Kaur, you may continue your captaincy tenure for India.
Our season ends on Wednesday. Oh,
Jay.
Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. So we shall see you soon. After
Soon.
how soon?
How soon? God knows. Do we cover Champions Trophy or do we cover RCB Unbox? Which one would be more relevant?
Yeah, whichever is more relevant and has more viewership, we will cover that. But in the meantime, comment down
Comment,
Champions
buddy.
Trophy or comment down IPL, whichever you want. We will be there, no matter what. Until then, good night, Shubharatri, bye bye.
Shubharat.